now you can see we're at machine coordinate 4. We're at machine coordinate 426 1000. So it's 1000 this way. 426 in this way. It's very good camera work. But the the work coordinates are a little bit different. But we actually you can see that crosshair is where the tool is. But we actually want to build our little part in that area. So when we press these buttons, X0, Y0, and you need to press refresh. The software is very bad. You can see that the crosshairs have remained in the same place, but the part that we're building has updated in that position. Okay. One more thing to add, because we're using the laser. We're using the laser to set up the thing. That's not really what we're interested in. So we want to use the 0 to laser button, and what that'll do is basically account for the offset of the laser. So that's how now the tool head and the part are in the right place relative to each other. So last thing we do before we start the job,
it thinks it's starting on the laser now, does it?
Yes, basically, basically, see how the crosshairs have moved into the part?
Yes.
So if I move this to where the laser was, which was the bottom corner of the part, it'll be where the laser was. I know it's very confusing.
So the laser has moved.
No, what we've said is where you're working has moved to deal with the laser. Right. So we were following the head of the tool, but what we were interested in was the laser. So now what we've done is offset. So now trust me, it all works out. So we'll do it for real on the computer here. I'll just jog the machine to the XY 00 position. Oh, you can see here. Or even I can type in X0, Y0 into the command line down the bottom, and then it'll actually move to XY0, and then we can see.
Let's move the laser over this way, so
right.
The tool is where the laser
you can see that the tool's now moved to where the laser was, which was about here.
So the screw was.
Yeah. Right, especially here. This is the hardest bit of the whole thing.
The coordinate systems and offsets and orientations. Yeah, exactly.
Orientations.
So that is like.
Everything's on the wrong side.
It makes sense to me. It's like super easy.
So it's heading that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is positive.
Yeah.
That's positive X and that's positive Y. So in this it's that way.
It's also why I made the keyboard so that you could turn it around then, so to keep yourself in the same orientation.
Yeah, but looking over your shoulder. It's like it's easier than reversing a trailer, I promise.
So although we've got a big bit of wood there, we've only really got a little.
Well, I just want to try and keep. I just want to reduce waste.
Yeah.
But that's.
No.
So the last thing we want to do before we start the job is, you can see in here, this is like a simulation of what the machine's going to do. The blue is the cutting line. So we can jog the machine to the extreme opposite corner. Just using the keyboard. About there. Oh, whoops. About there. And just see if that's still on timber. Are we still on timber, or are we just off the timber? Looks pretty. It's close, but it's all right.
Optimizing wastage.
Yeah. So that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So now we can go through. Now we're ready to run the job, essentially. But just before we do, I'll pull up the G code. So if you push that button there, that editor button, that'll bring up your text editor with the G code. So you can see this is the file name. It's a vacuum clip. These are the tools we're using. We're going to use a drill and a flat end mill. I'm not even sure what we drill here on this. And then...
Sorry, and then do you put the length of the tool?
No. So the length of the tool is stored, in this case, it's in here.
Right.
Because as we change the tools, the length actually changes.
Yeah.
So we have a zeroing plate to deal with that.
Okay.
I'll show you how that works. But some other machines you have to know what the length of the tool is because the head is fixed.
Right.
Whereas with this machine it's opposite. The end of the tool is what we look at. But anyway, we'll get into that. All right. So we got our lost it. Okay, vacuum clip. Cycle start. So just follow the commands. So please insert tool number T24, which is a standard 4mm drill. And then once the tool has been changed, click yes. Is the zoom okay?
Yep.
Alright, so this is like there's a radial spring. So basically it's a cone shape, so as you push it, as it gets pushed in, it compresses. So it's grabbing the tool all the way around. That's how that works, the spring. So basically you get the nut, you push the spring inside like that, and then you feed the tool into it like that. And now when we screw that up, it'll clamp onto the drill. So you can hear the pumps have switched on, getting the spindle ready. So now what is it?
The tool will now touch off on the 0 plate. Click yes if the tool is at a safe height. There for all
That works a little bit professional.
Yeah. Put it on the
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's basically a circuit. So once the tool touches it, it creates that circuit, and that's what tells it, hey, you've hit the bottom, and then it'll offset a distance, and that's how we know where the bottom of the tool is relative to the work. So you see that the 0 for the machine is actually updated. So yeah, now it should be sweet. So now you can press cycle start. You're ready to hit the emergency button. Literally one hole. There's a lot of work on it. But it's part of the training. It might do. You think it'll hit there?
I don't know. Find out, eh?
Should be right.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, it's by design. It's designed like that. Okay, so we'll just go over the vacuum extraction. Like the dust, the dust can get pretty toxic. So don't, like, if it's running, you don't need to be standing over it, breathing it in. So you can put up the screen and just keep it all enclosed. The dust, we've got the dust extraction hose has gone up onto the ceiling, as we can see, and then there's a gate valve over there. So could you open that gate? So we need to open that gate to allow the air to flow into the chip separator. And if you open those doors, we can have a look at that. So this is the dust extraction unit. So we've got inside, we've got another gate valve, which you need to close this one. But you can have a look at that in your own time. That comes down that tube and comes into what's called a Thien baffle or a Thien baffle. But basically that's just a in and out. So that collects like 90% of the dust. Then it goes into the impeller, out into this pleated air filter. So it's getting out a lot of the really fine, nasty stuff. So that's how that works. So just switch it on. All we need to do is turn off this emergency stop, and it should switch on. So you can see it's connected. We've got it connected up to this box at the moment. That's like an IoT device, so we can switch it off on the internet. I'll show you that later.